You won't believe what Steve Kerr just said about Jonathan Kuminga in a recent interview. It almost sounds like Kerr has had enough and just wants Kuminga off the team, or maybe the Warriors are trying to lower Kuminga's value on purpose. That would be a strange move right now, but the situation is definitely heating up. Kerr made it very clear that at this moment, Kuminga is not the kind of player he can rely on for heavy minutes if the goal is to win games. The Warriors coach basically said that with the current roster, which includes Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, he can't fit Kuminga in for nearly 40 minutes and still expect to come out on top. In other words, Kerr is bluntly telling Kuminga that he doesn't fit into the winning formula right now. What makes this even more interesting is that Kerr backed up his opinion by quoting some eye-opening stats. He pointed out that Kuminga has a usage rate in the 92nd percentile across the entire NBA this season. For those who aren't familiar, usage rate measures how much a player dominates the ball when on the floor. And in Kuminga's case, it means he's taking a huge share of possessions. Kerr believes that this high usage doesn't mesh well with the Warriors stars, who also need the ball in their hands to perform at their best. The implication here is that Kuminga's ball dominance disrupts the flow, making it harder for the team's core to shine. This tension over shot selection and ball dominance isn't new. Reports from insiders have said that one of the main issues is that Kuminga often chooses his own shot over letting Curry or Thompson take priority. Kerr confirmed this friction, saying that Kuminga's style clashes with the established hierarchy on the team. It's like there's a constant battle for control of the offense, and Kerr clearly sides with the veterans, even though Kuminga showed flashes of scoring ability during the playoff series against Minnesota, especially with Curry. Sidelined, Kerr highlighted that his plus-minus rating was a glaring negative. The figure was something like minus 15.8 in the playoffs, and an even worse minus 49 overall in plus-minus. For those not steeped in basketball metrics, plus-minus measures the point differential when a player is on the court. A negative number here means that the team tends to be outscored when Kuminga is playing, which suggests that his scoring doesn't translate to team success. This long-standing criticism from Warriors fans and staff has been that Kuminga's individual stats don't add up to wins, which is ultimately what matters most. Beyond the direct criticism of Kuminga's fit and style, Kerr also gave some insight into his own future with the team. With Curry, Thompson, and Green all signed for the next couple of seasons, Kerr's contract is the one that expires after the upcoming season. Despite all the speculation and rumors about Kerr possibly stepping down or being fired, he made it clear that he has no immediate plans to leave. He said he's content to let things play out naturally and that he's not worried about his job security for now. Kerr even hinted that if the Warriors want him back, he would probably say yes because of his strong ties to Curry and Draymond, the two cornerstones of the team. This suggests that Kerr's future may be closely tied to theirs, and if either one of them moves on, his own position might come into question. But the public nature of Kerr's criticisms toward Kuminga has sparked a lot of debate. It's unusual to see a head coach openly airing such harsh views about a young player's flaws, especially when that player is considered one of the team's promising talents. This kind of negativity could impact Kuminga's trade value or his confidence. Some believe that the Warriors might be intentionally lowering Kuminga's perceived worth so they can sign him for a lower salary or facilitate a trade. However, that seems like a risky strategy given Kuminga's age and potential upside. The more sensible approach might be to keep his value high to maximize what the team could get in return if they decide to move him. Adding fuel to the fire, former Warriors player DeMarcus Cousins recently spoke out, accusing Steve Kerr of not handling young talent well. Cousins argued that Kerr has a history of struggling to develop younger players, claiming he ruined his own relationship with Kuminga. While Kerr has had success with veterans and developed some players over time, Cousins' comments suggest there's a growing disconnect between Kerr and the younger core of the roster. Some fans point out that Draymond Green was a bit of a project under Kerr, but others argue that Kerr inherited a talented group from the previous coach and simply helped refine them. Regardless, the friction between Kerr and the younger players seems real and has become a major storyline for the Warriors. On top of all this drama, there's news about Moses Moody, who recently underwent surgery on his right thumb due to a torn UCL. Many fans had criticized Moody for his inconsistent playoff performance, not knowing he was playing through a significant injury. His shooting percentage was low, and he lost minutes in the rotation, seemingly falling out of favor with Kerr. Now we understand that he was dealing with an injury that likely affected his play. This revelation shows how much unseen factors can influence a player's performance and how sometimes public criticism doesn't tell the full story. The tension between Kerr and Kuminga is far from over. There are personal and business sides to this story, and many expect more revelations to come. The Warriors are at a crossroads, facing decisions about their young core and how to balance the team's championship window with the development of emerging talent. The way Kerr has openly questioned Kuminga's role signals a potential end of an era and possibly a trade or roster shakeup in the near future. How this all unfolds could shape the Warriors' trajectory for years to come. The saga around Jonathan Kuminga and Steve Kerr isn't just about basketball on the surface. It's a story loaded with deeper layers of team dynamics, management, decisions, and the pressures of sustaining a championship culture. As Kerr openly critiques Kuminga's style on fit, it reveals a larger tension within the Warriors organization about how to balance youth development with immediate winning expectations. Kerr's comments suggest that despite Kuminga's obvious raw talent and physical gifts, the coaching staff doesn't see him as ready or suited to be a key contributor alongside the team's core veterans right now. That raises a bigger question. What does the future hold for Kuminga in Golden State? If the Warriors are serious about contending for titles in the next few years, they need players who can fit seamlessly alongside Curry, Thompson, and Green. These three have defined the team's identity for almost a decade now, and Kerr's trust in them remains unshaken. The tough love approach from Kerr might be his way of signaling that Kuminga either has to adapt and refine his game to fit that identity, or that the team might have to explore other options. When a coach publicly says a player's usage rate is too high, or that he can't win with that player on the floor for extended minutes, it's essentially a red flag to management and the front office that change is necessary. The Warriors are also dealing with the tricky financial landscape of the NBA, where salary caps and luxury taxes force teams to make hard decisions. Kuminga is still young and promising, but his contract situation and potential future earnings have to be weighed against the value he brings on the court. If the team can get a favorable sign and trade deal or some promising assets in exchange for him, they might consider it a win-win. However, if the organization truly believes Kuminga can develop into a reliable piece in their championship puzzle, they'd be more cautious about damaging his market value with public criticism. Meanwhile, the fact that Steve Kerr mentioned only Curry and Draymond when discussing his own future hints at where the real loyalty lies. It's no secret that Kerr's relationships with the veterans are rock solid, but his rapport with the younger players appears strained. This gap can create challenges in the locker room, especially when a team is trying to blend emerging talents with established stars. Young players like Kuminga, Moses Moody, and others want to prove themselves and earn their roles, but when the head coach isn't fully on board, it can stunt their growth and create frustration. DeMarcus Cousins' recent remarks about Kerr's handling of young players added another layer of complexity. Cousins himself came to the Warriors later in his career and was often sidelined by injuries, so his perspective may be tinged with personal disappointment. Yet his words resonated with many fans who feel the Warriors' youth development has been inconsistent. While Kerr has undoubtedly coached championship teams and managed superstar egos with great success, nurturing younger players requires a different skill set, one that seems to be tested in the current Warriors roster. As for Moses Moody, the revelation of his thumb injury casts his playoff struggles in a new light. Playing through a torn UCL in the shooting hand is no small feat, and it's understandable why his shooting percentage is dipped. It also illustrates how much pressure these young players face, often having to battle injuries silently while trying to meet high expectations. Moody's surgery means he'll likely need significant rehab time, which could affect his availability and performance going forward. For a team navigating both a championship window and rebuilding aspects, the health and development of young talent like Moody is critical. This whole situation is complicated by the fact that the Warriors' core veterans are still in their prime, or just past it. Curry remains an elite scorer and leader. Thompson's shooting is still deadly when healthy, and Draymond's defensive intelligence and playmaking are invaluable. Kerr's strategy is clearly built around these pillars, and that leaves limited room for experimentation or mistakes from younger players. The margin for error in a championship-level team is razor thin, and Kerr's candidness about Kuminga's role reflects that reality. It's a stark reminder that talent alone isn't enough. Fit, basketball IQ, and consistency matter hugely. Looking ahead, the Warriors face some tough decisions. Do they try to reshape Kuminga's game to fit their system, or do they look to move him while he still has trade value? How do they support players like Moody in their development and recovery, and what does Kerr's future really look like beyond the next season, especially if the team's results don't meet expectations? The answers to these questions will shape the franchise's direction for years to come. The public airing of these issues also speaks to the broader culture. In professional sports, where transparency and media scrutiny are constant, players and coaches alike are navigating a world where internal disagreements can quickly become public narratives, affecting morale and public perception. For Kuminga, dealing with this level of criticism from his head coach in such a visible way is a massive challenge. It puts him under a microscope, but it might also motivate him to adapt and improve. On the flip side, it raises questions about whether the Warriors' front office and coaching staff are aligned on how to develop their young players, or if there's a disconnect that could hamper progress. It's important to remember that Steve Kerr's coaching legacy is still very much intact. He's guided the Warriors through multiple championships and has been a steady hand during both highs and lows. But every era ends, and with the shifting dynamics of this team, it's clear that the Warriors are at a crossroads. Kerr's comments and the ongoing Kuminga saga highlight the growing pains of a franchise trying to balance sustaining greatness with building for the future. It's a delicate dance, and how they manage it could serve as a blueprint for other teams facing similar challenges. In the end, the relationship between a coach and his players is crucial, especially in a league as competitive as the NBA. The tension between Kerr and Kuminga might just be the tip of the iceberg in a period of transition for Golden State. Whether this tension leads to breakthroughs or fractures remains to be seen. What is certain is that the Warriors' offseason will be watched closely, with every move scrutinized for clues about the team's true direction. Fans, analysts, and insiders alike will be waiting to see if Kuminga gets a fresh start elsewhere, or if he can evolve into the player Kerr envisions, or if the Warriors decide that a new chapter is necessary for both. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. In what could become one of the most sensational moves of the upcoming NBA offseason, rumors are swirling around Houston Rockets star center Alperen Sengun, potentially forcing his way out of the franchise to join the Golden State Warriors. Multiple league insiders have hinted that Sengun, whose rapid development has made him one of the most promising big men in the league, might be eager for a change of scenery, eyeing the Bay Area as his preferred destination. While nothing has been made official, the whispers suggest that Sengun is increasingly frustrated with the Rockets' current trajectory. Despite his impressive individual performances and growing leadership role, Houston continues to struggle in its rebuild, leaving the Turkish phenom eager to compete at a higher level and on a bigger stage. The Warriors, on the other hand, still view themselves as contenders, seeking to maximize the championship window of Stephen Curry while reinforcing their frontcourt with a versatile and highly skilled center like Sengun. The potential fit between Sengun and the Warriors is intriguing. Golden State's system, built on ball movement, high IQ play, and positional versatility, seems tailor-made for Sengun's unique skill set. His elite passing ability, footwork in the post, and offensive creativity could thrive alongside the likes of Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. Moreover, joining a perennial contender could elevate Sengun's career to new heights, putting him in the spotlight and giving him the opportunity to compete for a championship much sooner than he might with the Rockets. Speculation also points to possible behind-the-scenes maneuvering, with Sengun's camp allegedly signaling to Houston's front office his desire to be moved. specifically favoring the Warriors as a landing spot. Such a scenario could place pressure on the Rockets to explore trade options before tensions escalate, especially as they continue to amass young talent and draft capital for their long-term plans. Of course, these are still just rumors for now, with neither Sengun nor his representatives making any public statements confirming or denying the reports. Yet in NBA circles where smoke often precedes fire, the possibility of Sengun donning a Warriors jersey next season is becoming an increasingly hot topic. Whether this is simply off-season chatter or the first signs of a blockbuster move remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the NBA world will be watching closely. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.